we are back with our first conversation this morning. Joining us in studio talking about Belize Project Belize, we have Ismael Vallejos, who is the founder of Jacob Farm. Good morning. And then we have Mario Castillenos, who is the chairman of Belize Project Belize. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
So before we came on set, when I was researching Belize Project Belize, BelizeProject.org came up, and I was wondering if that was the same thing, but you guys have already said no. So tell us about Belize Project Belize and how it is different from these other projects that we see online.
Okay, the Belize Project Belize was registered about 4 years ago, and it did. It originally was part of the BelizeProject.org. Okay, they were there, and to a certain extent, they're still part of us, but we had to register ourselves here in Belize to be able to function as a registered institution for the work we were doing. We were trying to bring that Belize Project USA here, .org, but for some reason it wasn't working. And so what we do now, we partner with them. So we are partners in that sense. And but the Belize Project Belize actually originated with the idea of with the birth of the Rehabilitation Center, Jacob's Farm. What happened is about a little over 15 years, we started the initiative of a treatment rehabilitation center in Corozal. And that was started as I sought to help two gentlemen, are very close people to me. I took them to Chetumal, Mexico, and they went to a rehabilitation there, and it was then that when they came back, they came with the idea, we need to do something like that. So we had a little piece of land out there that we were trying to do fish farming, which was not heading anywhere. So they said, why don't we use that for that? So it was with that concept that we started. Back then, we knew very little, or to say practically nothing, about treatment and rehabilitation. We just wanted to help people, and we had this piece of land. We built up a little house there, and we used to take people there on weekends, pull them away from the alcohol, particularly the alcohol problem. And so the idea of Jacob's Rehab started growing, and that's when our friends from Nashville, the BelizeProject.org, came along, and they liked what we were doing, and they started getting more involved, helping us with the infrastructure. So hence the Jacob's Farm started to evolve as a Belizean, as a national endeavor. And need to mention that from its inception, the National Drug Council, NDAC, were working with us closely. In Corozal, the office and the person there in charge was very much supportive. And so we were doing what we could. So as the years went by, the infrastructure started to grow, as well as a capacity building in terms of people trained in the area to be able to help these men, because it's not just having them there and away. We need to equip them with the tools necessary to be able to come out and be again productive citizens in society. So that's where we have gone so far for the past up to maybe 15 years now. And then, but our friends from Nashville who were also helping us had a bigger vision. They also went visiting schools, and they supported schools, so they got involved with education. They did some micro businesses support, and so they expanded. I think Mr. Castellanos could speak a little more into that, where they all are. And so we saw the need of so Jacob's Farm was first organized. We registered Jacob's Farm. And then, since we were working together, they said, what about this other work that we're doing? What happened to them? So we had a conversation, and they finally agreed that, why don't we also have a Belize Project registered here to be the umbrella organization for all these other ministries.
So
yes. I just wanted to, before we continue on to how Jacob's Farm has progressed. Let's go back to its inception to
Okay.
talk about what the space looked like at the time in terms of rehab centers across the country. What was the space? What was the space like?
Yeah. So give us a little bit more insight on the inception. What did it look like? You know, before now you have
Before
this.
what we have.
Before what we
Yes,
get.
it was really a little spot in the middle of nowhere, so to say. It was like 5 or 8 of us men who went there trying to start a fish project.
Yes.
And we realized that raising fish is not as easy as we thought.
Yeah.
So most of the men abandoned it. So it remained there until the idea of a rehab came in. So it was a little, maybe 1 acre cleared spot that we cleared with machete. We had a trail that we walked in there. And it was kind of very interesting. Actually, every Saturdays we used to go there to help clear the area. So it was very, very small.
Okay, were there other centers at the time?
Not that we know, except for Rimar in Cayo. That's about the only one, because ENDAC also, with the assistance of them, we toured some of the facilities, and that was the only one that I remember we toured and visited to see what they were doing. And most of them were, even the one in Chetumal, outside Chetumal, or farm-centered based. So that's probably why we decided, and ours is also outside.
I want to get into the projects, right? Because I know that there are various houses under Belize Project Belize. So Mario, if you want to talk to us about the 6 months program and the different other entities that are under Belize Project Belize.
Okay, sure. Yes, I've been chair for the Belize Project Belize for the past 2 years now. I am a graduate actually from Jacob Rehabilitation Farm Center. So I completed my program 8 years ago and then started working along with them, because that I feel that what I've been given or offered in Jacob's Farm, in essence, I feel like giving back to society what I was given. So I was invited to work along with them. So I started 2 years ago, and I was introduced to all these other ministries that the Belize Project is working along with, which is Jacob's Farm, which is a 6-month program where we offer them the necessary tools for them to be able to get back to society as a transformed men, so they can actually function as productive men in society. We also have Dorcas House, which helps with battered women who suffered from violence, from this same alcohol issue, you know, that because of the alcohol, well, I was personally one of them, and you're out of control, you reach home, start to fight, beat your wife, your children get afraid. So Dorcas House is focused on providing a secure place for these battered women who are experiencing violence from this alcohol or drug issue. And another ministry that we're working along with is Restore Ministries. Restore Ministries is a ministry that helps us deal with life controlling issues. Not necessarily being alcohol or drugs. The society today has attached so many things that take us away our freedom to enjoy what life should actually be to ourselves. A lot of us get stuck in some area of our lives that we simply don't know how to move on. So Journey to Freedom is a program that helps us identify who we are, what our struggles are, our weakness, and how to be able to move forward in life. That Journey to Freedom has been in Colby Foundation also for the past 8 years. And we have been serving for over 1,800 men and women who have gone through Restore Ministries and have been out there and being active as transformed persons into society again.
So those are the three houses, three different areas. There's others?
We have the entrepreneurship as the micro business, as Mr. Ismael said, where we help men or women that have a vision of starting small business. So we give them a hand in financial support. We walk along with them, have accountability with them, help them grow and to be, especially women that go through this violence or these problems with they get divorced or separate. So we give them a hand to them so they can be dependent in a way they can provide an income for their kids and for themselves.
So I want to hear a bit about your story, Mario. If you would tell us at what point did you realize that you needed the help and you sought out the help?
Well, it's an interesting story because it's very difficult to identify that point where you realize that you need help. I started consuming alcohol and cigarette at the age of 12 years. And at the age of 24, when I felt that I reached rock bottom, like they say, I reached to a point in my life where I felt that I couldn't continue that lifestyle that I had. I got a lot of incidents. Honestly, only God knows how am I alive. I was stabbed with a spear gun, actually. Good thing nothing from the inside was damaged. And Mr. Ismael can recall the first day that I reached there with short pants and barefooted with my hand cut because I was involved in fighting. That was my lifestyle before. Every weekend, drunk, fighting. At a young age, that's you're trapped in that toxic lifestyle that you believe that you are capable of doing anything that you want, not realizing that you are just destroying yourself. I reached to a point where I was involved in a fight. That was the last time that I literally get into a fight with my own brother and brother-in-law. I took a bottle. I remember that night. I took a bottle of beer and just smashed it in the windshield. And that's the same thing that caught my hand. And I was dragged with a vehicle, I would say about 50 yards. And the police was looking for me the next day. So honestly, I went to the rehab center not because of my own will. I went because of the consequences that have came from that.
From your actions.
My action. But while being in the program, I came to realize that my life can't continue that way. I need to change my life. I had my wife, my first baby. He was 1 year when I left him. And during the process or while being in Jacob's farm, I came to learn that alcoholism is a sickness. I was not aware of that. I had to admit the fact that alcohol had already taken control of my life. Mr. Ismael was our facilitator there. He through Journey to Freedom, which is one of our main materials there. He guided me through that book where it helped me identify what my problem was. And not only to identify the problem, but knowing how to deal with that.
Well, that's where I wanted to go because, we have, Belize is a safe space. We have various different centers for rehabilitation and intervention. So when it comes to Jacob's Farm and what you all do there, speak to us about how you are able to help these people process that this is something that is difficult and this is a sickness, and how do you get them to remain rehabilitated once they've gone through the process?
So it's a real challenge, to be honest, because I personally have gone through what the men that go into Jacob's Farm. First of all, it takes a lot of courage to accept the fact that you are weak or you are powerless over what has taken control of your life. That's the biggest step that the majority of men that come to Jacob's Farm are not willing to take. The fact that they don't want to accept that I'm a weak person, I can control this, I'm not an alcoholic, and going through the process, we try to teach them by their own actions or by the same consequences that they are going through at the moment. We'll try to let them understand that we have to accept the fact that alcohol or drug has already taken control of my life. If I love the quote that one of our residents said, I have to admit the fact that drug has taken control of my life. If I would have had the control over drugs, I wouldn't have the need to reach to a rehab center. I would be outside there enjoying my life. So we have the process which we teach to them, the process of change, which is 5 steps of change: the denial, the contemplation, the preparation, action, and maintenance. That's what basically we guide these men that come to Jacob's Farm. The first one is denial. We cannot keep in denial. Once we stay in denial, we will never be able to move forward in our recovery. The second step is contemplation. Contemplation meaning that you're aware that you have a problem, but you're not willing to take action. Preparation is where they have admitted that they have a problem, and they start to look for the tools that they need to make that change happen in their life. Action is where they are fully committed on changing their life, and the maintenance is where we help them or guide them to a personal plan of action, where they will set their blueprint for themselves. So when they come out from Jacob's Farm, they have an idea of how they will reintegrate and how they will continue with their recovery.
So Ismael, take us to, this is the project now, this is what the men are doing. How many people are involved in Jacob's Farm to assist with this process?
At present, I think we have about 6.
6 people?
6 people.
Wow.
We've got Mario, who is the facilitator and the coordinator for the program, run the program there. We have a spiritual counselor, Pastor Dan. We have Rodel Vallejos, my son, who is the director of the farm now. And we have our accountant, Miss Diana, who is the accountant, secretarial, who does all the work for us in terms of logistics and bookkeeping. Oh, and then we have our security, 24/7 security there at the farm.
We have AA.
Oh, and then, you're right, it's bigger than what I thought.
meetings.
And then we have the AA facilitators, Alcoholics Anonymous, who goes there in twice a week. So, it's been growing, and I am there now more at the back. Kind of.
I want to tap a bit into your experience, because when you hear stories like that of Mr. Mario coming from that life and that lifestyle to now being the chairman of Belize Project Belize. I mean, come on, you could hold your chest up and say, by grace I've been able to get where I am and accomplish what I've been able to accomplish. And I'm sure, Mr. Ismael, you've, throughout your years, you've heard many stories of defeat, men in defeat, as well as men who've successfully completed and gotten over, or at least defeated their challenge or addiction with alcohol or drugs. What do you think is perhaps one of the main challenges that men face in first admitting that I have an issue, I have a problem that I need to work on, and that I need to seek help for?
I think it's probably more common with men, and that's to accept that you have a problem, because that's where I came here because not because I have an alcohol problem. I came here because well, I want to see what's different here. Oh yes, I came here because I want to do this because of my wife. She's got an issue, so I came here to see how I can please her. And some of them say, well, I need my job back, or my employer said, so they have the wrong purpose of coming there. So as Mario said, in the process there we try to make them understand, look, unless you're ready to take a serious look at yourself, and the journey to freedom, I think we don't have a copy with us today, says this at the beginning that there was this big company, it was the Ford company, I think, where they had a big breakdown in the huge machinery there, and they hired an expert to come. And he said, the expert walked around, and he went there, and he just put an X where he identified the problem. And so when he sent his bill to the company, it was $10,000. And the manager right away said, could you itemize it? And he says, $1 for putting the X, and $9,999 for knowing where to put the X. So here it is. You come here and you play with that. You think you know where you're putting the X. You think you know where your problem is. But the truth is they don't. An addictive person lives in a delusion, false reality. And we see it there. And I see a lot of them. And I have seen, as you said, defeats and successes. We have been saddened many times by residents who go to the program. We see they're faking it, they're pretending it. They come back again, which is good. We always believe in second chance. As long as you have life, come back. I think because the time you spend there, we're investing in you also, our time and that. But we have seen also guys who've gone out and then shortly after, they're gone. We see the news, very sad. And the guys here say, oh, you saw that? Yeah. So it becomes a conversation. But why? I guess ultimately, it's a choice that you have to make. You really deeply have to want that change. And those who have succeeded have not succeeded shortcutting the system. You've got to sweat it up. That's why it's a journey. In a journey, sometimes there's challenges. You stall, you might slide back, what we call relapse in addiction. But pick up yourself, get up. Just know that this journey must continue.
Let me ask you one final question, and then I'll hand it over to April. But in the process, how does the farming aspect help in the rehabilitation?
Okay, it is part of the therapy. We called it work, and I think there's another name now that they're using, work therapy. Occupational therapy.
Occupational therapy.
And make it more
professional.
More professional. And so they're these, amazingly, these guys who go there are very talented. They're very skilled in doing things, because this is what they do to survive. They learn to make handicraft. They can do farming, they can do all kinds of crafts, And there was a time that we were selling beautiful things made up of tires, birds. They painted it. They just do. So then the farming aspect is one of the things we really move, because we encourage as much as possible the production of what they consume there in terms of veggies, plantains, cilantros, tomatoes. That goes on the table, first of all. And if there's any surplus, of course, we can sell. But that's and then I've got someone here from Belize City. When we started initially, he was deported from New York, I think, and you would see the big smile in his face when he saw a watermelon plant germinating. He said, "Man, look at this!" But what? When he saw his watermelon, and we started harvesting. We came to this market here by Ponyard Bridge, I think, and they were selling, and he was bragging with another group of them, saying, "I produced this." So it's a new experience.
Yeah.
And then the last thing I heard, he was taking care of a farm somewhere out.
That's wonderful. For our viewers at home that don't know how to locate you, or how to find you, or how to contact you, can you let them know where you are?
Yes, we're in Corozal district, between Pachacan and Chanchen village.
Okay.
And there's a back road that takes you to Chetumal. Some people do the shortcut right now. They're working on that road. Hopefully that road will be paved and it's going to be a better road. So we are there. The phone numbers, Mario?
Yes, the phone number.
Yeah, you can use his. You can.
Well, of course.
Yes,
Chairman.
610-9345. That's my personal number. You can contact there to
610 93 45.
Yeah, you can give me a call, and I'll be more than willing to guide you through the process that needs to be done for someone to be received at Jacob's Arm. But we are with the arms open to receive anyone desiring that change in their lives.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Perfect.
We also have a Facebook page, right?
A Facebook page named Jacob's Rehabilitation Farm Center.
Okay, there you go.
Thank you, gentlemen, so much for coming in and for sharing your stories.
Thank you.
That's not easy to do. So
It has been the reason I responded, I said, is because I was touched personally by very close relatives on that. And not that maybe I had my little drinking issue, but never to be anything that I would consider, but I was touched very closely, and that was what really prompted me into following up with this idea. And then maybe to close down, I need to give you the analogy of Jacob's farm, because a lot of people call me Mr. Jacobs, and I'm not.
You're not Mr. Jacob.
I am not Mr. Jacob. I'm not this man. But the idea of Jacob is, we took that name from the Bible. It's a biblical name.
Yeah.
And if you know the story of Jacob, Jacob was a guy who messed up many times. He stole the birthright of his brother. He cheated with his mom to get another blessing. And so he messed up big time, and he had to run away because his brother wanted to kill him. And I use that analogy because a lot of guys come like that. Like he chopped up, police was looking for him, and many other guys come like that. So I say, come. You don't feel your way out there. There's a guy in the Bible who's big time in the Bible now, and the nation of Israel exists because of him. But he messed up big time, but he never disqualified himself. I think that is so important. I always believe in the possibility of change, never disqualified. And if anything, Jacob is an example. And sometimes I read them the story, and then they say, oh, really? Yep. So biblical people also messed up big time.
That's a nice way to
wrap it up. Biblical
it.
people mess up big time. I like it.
Hey, come on now.
That's what he said. I am repeating what he said. But thank you again, gentlemen, for coming in.
Sure.
And you're welcome anytime to come back.
Thank you. And
maybe for the if a next opportunity was given to us, we would like to speak more about a gala fundraiser that we are planning to do in October. That's to raise funds to support these ministries, because the need is there.
You can come back and we can talk all about the gala.
Okay, sure.
Perfect. And with that, we're going to take our next break. But before we get into that, Phoenix Boutique, the date night look. Go to Phoenix Boutique for your date night look. Check it out.
Welcome to the Phoenix Boutique. Today we're getting ready for date night. We have a cider balloon sleeve satin corset top, a Zara metallic belt, American Eagle jeans, our Zara platform heels, and our Michael Kors sling bag.